Man descended as far as the physical body, and so, in contrast to the nature of the devas, he is built up out of three principles: spirit, soul, and body. The devas are at a higher stage than man, but they do not have to surmount physical nature as man does. This physical nature has to be transfigured so that it can absorb the life of the spirit. Man's consciousness in the body, his physiological consciousness of today, will itself be able to enkindle the spark of spiritual existence in freedom. Christ's sacrifice is an example which shows that man will be able to unfold a higher form of consciousness out of his life on the physical plane. His lower individuality lives in the physical body, but it must be enkindled so that the higher personality can develop. Only then can the, quote, rivers of living water, close quote, flow from man's, in quotes, belly. Then can the Holy Spirit appear and be poured forth upon humanity. Man as an ego being must be as though dead to physiological existence. Herein lies what is truly Christian, and it also embodies the deeper mystery contained in the Whitsuntide festival. Man lives primarily in his lower organism, in his consciousness imbued with desires. It is right that this is so, because it is only this consciousness which can provide him with awareness of his true goal, to attain freedom. He should not remain there, however, but must raise his ego to the nature of a deva. He must develop the deva within him, bring it to birth so that it becomes a spirit of healing, a Holy Spirit. To that end, he must consciously sacrifice his earthly body. He must experience that, quote, dying and becoming, close quote, so that he does not remain a gloomy guest on this dark earth. Thus the Easter mystery is only revealed in its fullness when taken together with the Whitsuntide mystery. We see the human ego exemplified in its divine representative, divesting itself of the lower ego and dying in order to be completely transfigured in its physical nature and offered up again to the Godhead. Ascension is the symbol of this. When man has become transfigured in the physical body, has offered it up again to the Spirit, he will be ripe to receive the outpouring of spiritual life, to experience what is called the, quote, coming of the Holy Spirit, close quote, according to the explanation of one who is mankind's greatest representative. Therefore it is also said, quote, and there are three that bear witness on earth, the Spirit, the water, and the blood, close quote. Whitsuntide is the outpouring of the Spirit into man. The highest goal of humanity is symbolically expressed by means of the Whitsuntide festival. That is, that mankind must progress once more from an intellectual to a spiritual life. Just as Prometheus was set free from his sufferings by Heracles, so will mankind be set free by the power of the Spirit. By descending into matter, mankind has attained self-consciousness. Through the fact that he ascends again, he will become a self-aware deva. Those who worshipped the asuras and regarded the devas as beings of a satanic nature, who did not wish to descend into the innermost depths, regarded this descent as something devilish. That, too, is referred to in Greek mythology. The one whose state of consciousness is not free, the contemplator, the one who does not wish to win redemption in complete freedom, and therefore is the opponent of Prometheus, is Epimetheus. Zeus gives him Pandora's box, the contents of which, sufferings and plagues, fall on mankind when it is opened. The only gift that is left behind is hope, the hope that one day in a future state he will also progress to this higher, clear consciousness. He is left with the hope that he will be set free. Prometheus advises him against accepting this doubtful gift from the god Zeus. Epimetheus does not listen to his brother, but accepts the gift. The gift that Epimetheus receives is not worth as much as the one belonging to his brother Prometheus. Thus we see that there are two ways of life open to men: Some of them cling to a feeling of freedom, and although it is dangerous to develop spirituality, they search for it in freedom nevertheless. The others are the ones who find their satisfaction in the dull round of life and in blind faith, and who suspect danger in the Luciferic endeavors of their fellow men. The founders of the Church's outward doctrine have distorted the deeper meaning of Luciferic striving. The ancient teachings on the subject are contained in hidden manuscripts in undisclosed places where they have hardly been seen by anyone. They are available to a few people who are able to see them in the astral light, and otherwise only to a few initiates. The path is fraught with danger, but it is the only one which leads to the sublime goal of spiritual freedom. The spirit of man should be free and not dull. That is also the aim of Christianity. Health and healing are connected with holiness. A spirit that is holy is able to heal. It sets men free from sufferings and torments. Healthy and free is the human being who is released from the bondage of his physiological state. For only the free spirit is the healthy one, whose body is no longer gnawed by an eagle. Thus Whitsuntide can be looked upon as the symbol of the freeing of the human spirit, as the great symbol of mankind's struggle for freedom, for consciousness of his own freedom. If the Easter festival is the festival of resurrection in nature, then the Whitsuntide festival is the symbol of the becoming conscious of the human spirit, the festival of those who know and understand and, penetrated through and through by this, go in search of freedom. Those spiritual movements of modern times, which lead to a perception of the spiritual world in clear day consciousness, not in trance or under hypnosis, are the ones that lead to an understanding of such important symbols as this. The clear consciousness, which only the Spirit can set free, is what unites us in the Theosophical Society. Not the word alone, but the Spirit gives it its meaning. The Spirit which emanates from the great masters, which flows through a few people only who are able to say, quote, "I know they are there," the great adepts, who are the founders of our spiritual movement, not our society, close quote. This Spirit flows into our present civilization and bestows on it the impulse for the future. Let a spark of understanding of this Holy Spirit flow again into the misunderstood Whitsuntide festival. Then it will be revivified and gain meaning once more. We want to live in a world that makes sense. Whoever celebrates festivals without sparing them a thought is a follower of Epimetheus. Man must see what binds him to his surroundings, and also to what is invisible in nature. We have to know where we stand, for we humans are not confined to a dull, dreamy semi-existence. We are destined to develop a free, fully conscious unfolding of our whole being. The end of Lecture 1.